The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
That's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital.
The Ugandan National Museum, a place where unforgettable memories are created. Traditions are found and a connection to our Paul is reinforced. It is not only a testimony to the history of our nation, but also impacts knowledge of cultural and natural heritage to the present and future generations for their enjoyment. Through a variety of activities and exhibitions, we gather to discover our traditions and create new ones. The Uganda Museum is our country's cultural icon that makes it accessible for the next generations to come together as our story unfolds and represent the interplay of our country's past and present. It is in our history, but also in how it has evolved to embrace optical satisfaction and new influences. Our identity as a country is not only a moment in time, but also a journey of where we have been, where we are, and where we are going. We invite you to experience the authentic heritage, rich history of Uganda. Welcome to the Uganda National Museum.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You are still watching Digital TV. Edakika zino ziri 32 ezakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'okumakya. Mwebale kubanga mukyaliwo era webale kubanga okyanneekumiddeko. Ky'olina okukola subscribing ku ka button kolaba wansi awo awali ekigambo subscribe ku YouTube. osobola okusubscribe nga buli osubscribe nga kituyamba eno feed okutambula eri abantu bangi naffe kituyambira ddala okubanga tukutegekera okuleetera abantu abagenda okumanya obeerenga naawe otegera biki ebigenda maaso mu ggwanga lya Uganda. Nze Edgar Matthew Karohanga nga ina basuubiza olunaku luno olwaleero nina omwami bamuyita David Musiri. Ono nno yakulembera institutions oba kyewaliise agasetendekero oba setendekero ez'enjawulo mu National Unity Platform ate nga y'omu ku bantu abagala okubanga bakulembera Makidye West constituency. Wano nyini wetuli so wetwogerera nze ndi mulonzi wa omwami David Musiri. So kyasanyo okubeeranga naawe webali kutukumira kutuwaayo akadde n'ojjawuli wano n'otubuuzaako
nange okuddamu okulabako omwami Karuhanga n'abatuwuliriza n'abo abatulaba okuva ebunaayira era njagala okubakubiikiriza bonna ababadde tebannaba kwegatta ku Facebook tu live bajje n'abasubscribinga omwami Karuhanga abagambyeko tuli wano ate mu constituency eno constituency Makidye West yentabiro by'obufuzi entabiro by'obufuzi kitegeeza wano we butandikira bulyoka bugabanyibwako ewalala kyova olaba abasajja eŋŋwaŋuli bava wano Makidye West.
Kituufu nnyo. Muli mutya ab'e Makidye?
Ate tubadde bubi wadde mbadde siriimu omanyi wewawaawo ebitakwatagana bulungi mu East Africa ne kusemazinga Africa oluusi abatono abakyali very vigilant and very conscious tuvaayo ne tugamba nti waliwo wano ekitatambula bulungi so tulina okuvaayo ne tukyekwatirako. Ebiseera ebisinga abantu bakyawanya ekibi ng'obusiraamu bwe bugamba naye omuntu asobola okukyogerako omuntu asobola okukikyawa naye ekisinga obukulu kukikwatako kukijjawo. Otavaayo ne weenyigiramu butereevu n'olaga obutali bumativu ebiseera ebisinga obeera osiwa nsaano ku mazzi. So tuvaayo ebyenjawulo tubadde mu East Africa ebadde n'ebizibu bingi. Muganda waffe Tunduliso Tanzania ali mabuuso. Abaganda baffe abasalawo okugendayo ba lawyers abamu baba deporting nga ba Martha Karua okuva Kenya. Abaganda baffe ba Boniface Mwangi ne bakwatibwa ne mwannyinaffe Agatha Atuhaire bye babakola tebyali birungi. So twali tulina okuvaayo kangula eddoboozi okwogera ebintu bya Africa tebitambula butambuzi bwe bityo.
Kati tunagenda na mu nsonga za East Africa nawe obadde n'ensonga zo ng'omuntu last naliko naawe ndoza sabiti ntonoke Emabega wava wano najja obulira ate David Musiri bamukutte ali mu kkomera. Kiki ekyagenda mu maaso? Do you want to highlight with the country?
Nange ninga Abannayuganda abalala bentera okugamba nti Bannayuganda tubeeranga nkoko z'abatamiivu. Koko y'omutamiivu omutamiivu lwanywa nadda neekookolima agambe mugijjeeko omutwe. So ng'Abannayuganda abalala ng'ate naawe mukko eri omwogwa. No one is safe. You can be arrested any day. You can be arrested after here. You can be abducted. Anything can happen at the end of the day. So etwava wano olunaku lwali lwa Easter abasajja ne bansalako mu bukambwe ennyo obungi bambadde leeya mundu bakuba amasasi gakyeyonoonere ne banteekako batukyali awo mu transit ate gyati neeyingirawo nga kati awo nno ne watandika ono waffe UPDF nayo neesalako gyati ono waffe poliisi egamba tusooke tumutwala alipootinge ku poliisi amagye gagamba tumutwale ate gwe oda nga zikyuka amasimu nga gavuga ag'enjawulo
batwalira ki Musiri lwaki buli omu amutwala
anti era nga bwe nakugamba nti era ntera okugamba abantu nti tusabiragane. Abamu ku ffe ndowooza abasajja bali ku bunkenke batutya era tebandiyagadde nnyo tubeere nga tumalako n'okubeera mu kalulu kano ate ebiseera ebyo military court yali evuddewo kati nga balina okuteekako ogusango mbandi awo ne bagamba nti musango gwe tuguvunaana Musiri gwa aggravated robbery. Aggravated robbery kitegeeza wakozesezza n'ekyuma ekyokulwanyisa mundu kiso wakozesezza force so bagiteekako ne homicide nti n'ekikolwa kyali kireetera omuntu kyandibadde kiviiramu omuntu okufa. So byali tebitegerekagana baleeta ba complainant ayogera kino ayogera kiri ayogera kino. So kyamukisa mulungi na Katonda n'Abannayuganda akuvaayo. Ndowooza njagala kwebaza Bannayuganda abateetuulako ne balaajana abapostinga bakuba emiranga baali balina buli omu kye yali asobola okukola yakikola. Tusobola okubanga kati olwaleero twakola ki twavaayo naye twandibadde nga kati twali committed. Ndowooza nga tulinze kooti ya high court.
Edi mutwe naye bamuleetako mu kooti yawe Masaka naye ng'endabika edi mutwe gye yalimu yayitira Biterisa Nakabululu. Gwe wali eyo, how was the experience? Do you want to give us the details? Oba kanchikubuzi directly, were you tortured?
No, nze sali tortured. Olw'ensonga nti ekimu ku bintu ebyasinga okuyamba abasajja be bajja waka ekyalo kyonna kyavaayo. Kusooka ne basooka bateekawo amaanyi nga bagamba tewali gye mutwala mubaka waffe. Tewali gye mumutwala. Era tekyali kyangu kusooka kumbuzaawo era bwe banzijjaawo n'abantu ne bagoberera nga buli step yonna gye bantwalamu abantu Bannamakingi ensinga okwebaza mirwana gyange okuva esalaama buli yali abaafuna boda baazifuna abalinnya taxi ne bazirinya abaavuga emmotoka ezaabwe ez'obuyonjo ne bazivuga nga buli we tudda balondoola. Ekisooka ekirungi nti nze bakikola misana ate abantu bavaayo nnyo abayirusi ne bavaayo ba defense ne bavaayo. So okujjako awo nti abaana be bankwata nabo waliwo omwana bamuyita Kizza Kalibala yali akimye ku ssente asomera awo Katwe Nuuru ali mu senior 6 yali azeewo nga bw'ona alaba muganda wazze waka afuneweko kuki ky'obuyambi oyo gwe baakuba ennyo bamukuba nnyo naye nga babuuza mukuba waaki nga alina ekimukubisa nga bagamba annumirize nti emisango mituufu. So
nikati emisango bakuba abantu ate kuchukuru
anti baba banoonya obujulizi baba tebabuyina naye ekyatuusibwa ku baganda baffe naddala muganda wange Edi Mutwe kyali kibi nnyo kyennyamiza. N'olwaleero kooti yavaayo kati ziri ennaku tugenda mu lunaku lwa 6. Kooti yavaayo negamba bamuwe transfer okuva e Masaka adde Luzira naye kaakati tebalina kye baakoze ng'ate ali mu bulamu obwo bubi ennyo. Oba oli awo kisobola n'okumutwalira nekimujja ne mu bulamu bw'ensi eno. So kibi nnyo nti muganda waffe tafiiriddwako. Twetaaga we need justice for Edi Mutwe. We need justice for everyone that is under incarceration.
Yeah, we need justice. But one thing is, how are you going to get justice? Because what was the arbitrary arrests? Katingeye iyo ngawo olaba Edi Mutwe oluusi kwa Edi Mutwe yagamba omusango yagutegera alina mu court that day. Naye ng'olredde bamuyisizaamu kyo waliisa oba eggaali. Digitalk kyali the same here. Bareadingako Digitalk offices one headquarters. Nibakwata naye obutwatuka mu court ng'obujulizi tebuliiwo. So this blantancy of arresting people naye nga tetulina bujulizi, how do you think we can deal with it as a country? Because it's now looking like a tool for oppression.
Ekisinga okwetaagisa solution eriemu nga bw'olaba bwe kiri enshrined in our constitution of Uganda nti the power belongs to the people. Abantu balina kuzuukuka ne bategeera nti amaanyi gali gye bali. Abantu ne bamanya nti kyonna kyonna kye basobola. Abantu sebo basobola okureadinga wano Digitalk. Abantu ne bagamba temulina gye mubatwala. Yeah. And it is possible. Oba ne bagamba nti lwe baddamu okuwamba nti katugeze bawambye Honorable Musiri David Bwogi. Kolo lwe tugenda okuyiwa ku nguudo. By the way, let me tell you, nti ebintu ebireetedde amawanga amalala okugoba bannakyemalira wano byonna bibaddewo. Ne wali wakyaliwo naggwa n'asirise akyebase be bantu. Abantu bateekeddwa okugamba nti ekimala. Abantu bokka is the solution. Not even the
army. Abiri baasituka. Twafune abantu at least government yakakasa 5 abaagwa. Naye nga ate mulago eyogera more that came with gunshot.
No, abiri mu
yes.
November 10 n'omusanvu ne 18.
Abantu
oyinza okulowooza nti abantu basituka, but it was deliberate by government to shock the people. Abantu abasinga abo abakubibwa baite bekalakaasa. Abamu ku bo baali batwala mmere. Abamu ku bo waliwo omwana yali agenda okusasula umeme. Waliwo be bakubiranga just kulengeza bulengeza. In fact yali trigger just where it was a wake up call for the people to come and raise. I would say that.
And you kill 50 of them?
No, let me tell you.
For any killing people who don't do anything. Okay, if they killed one would say an enemy, but you're kinga ugambi, bachala batambuza mmere, bana batu bagenda ku ssomero. Abana abatalina mu bintu bino. So they are the victims at the end of the day.
That's why I'm saying that the people are the victims. But what is the constant? If, for example, that day, if people had gotten determined and say whether they kill us, because they can kill some of us, but they cannot kill all of us. They can imprison some of us, they cannot imprison all Ugandans. That's the constant. Whether you want to abduct people, you cannot abduct all Ugandans. So that is the limit it can go to, the extreme that abantu singa basalawo ne bagamba nti byonna basobola obikola, basobola kwatako batono. Neti basobola tusirisa fenna. Therefore ne basalawo ne bagenda an extra mile ne bagamba ekiba kibe, ekimala kimala. The people are the solution of these atrocities. There is nothing. It is the people at the end of the day. Abantu kasa bagamba nti tebaddamu kuwamba omuntu gwe baddamu okuwamba because the list is endless. Tetumanyi nti weba ani addako.
Yes.
That question of who is next, no one knows. So you can be next.
Yes.
Someone behind the camera can be next. You, the viewer, you can be next. So apart from when you decide no gamba nti ekijja kijje.
Wale tumanyi mu opposition mwe kamwe bagenda okwata. Aren't you scaring the viewer?
It's never about opposition because whoever says they will not indulge themselves in the politics.
Yeah, they've left it for you.
No. Politics is life. Everything that you do every day is politics. When you decide on what to use, how to shower is also politics. What you're going to procure that day, what you are going to be fed on that day, what is going to be your dinner is still part of politics. You see, you cannot, people just lie themselves. You cannot separate yourself from politics. Tewali asobola kugamba nti nze siri mu byabufuzi.
Anti oli yayinza ogamba bajja kukwata mmwe. Why I ask you that question is because there is a narrative nti abo Ugandans try to alienate themselves okuva mu political processes. But this reminds me that Twine Charles is incarcerated right now, also charged with Noah Mutwe. Kugawe mutandise n'okukwatagana n'abantu abali mu system.
No, it's not the first that it is happening. Yeah, neche ngamba nti while people think because they are not part of opposition,
yes,
therefore they are friends of government, then they are wrong. Because almost every Ugandan is an enemy. You see, when the dictators, tyrannies try to start to wage war with Ugandans, the citizens, that is what happens. Because they see citizens of Uganda as a burden. Balaba nti bino bizibu ate nga Uganda bano be basasula omusolo naye olwokubanga nti bwe basasula omusolo ate omusolo guno eyandibadde nga payback through, for example, infrastructure
services.
Kati Uganda be bacomplaininga ku musolo lubafuuka the enemies of government. Naye nga be basasula omusolo naye we bacomplaininga ku services nti abanaye omusolo tugusasula naye wetugenda ekiruddu teri ddagala. Wetugende mulago teri ddagala, wetubereka wempe abakyala abagenda musanya bafiirayo. Therefore they become a very big burden to government. That's why they are all enemies and they are not exempted. Nti we baba bagenda kukwata tewaliwo muntu yenna gwe bagenda kuttira ku liiso.
Kyentegera mu kyogamba mbu it's not about opposition, it's about dissenting voice. Wolitukanga you are dissenting to the system,
yeah,
then you become
ne woba olwaleero ng'oli mu SFC, but the moment you bring out a dissenting voice,
yes, sir,
you are an enemy to government. You are a rebel. Actually, they don't only see you as an enemy, but they see you to the extent of a rebel. To the extent that nti newe bandibadde kati nga bwolaba nti olwaleero tubadde ne martial court naye martial court eno yandibadde oba kale gye bazizaawo yandibadde it's like a disciplinary tribunal for the UPDF for the men in uniform.
Exactly, that's how it's
because we have seen twali wano ne afande Kirumira. He wasn't tried in the military court. He had ammunitions, he's a policeman, which is given to him by the act of the constitution, but he wasn't tried in the martial court, you know. Naye kati yo ka military court kati kulabira ddala nga n'okusinga omuyeekera yagala buli kimu kyonna kyonna yagala ekikozese evudde ne ku traditional ways of how to arrest someone or how to prosecute someone, how the courts adjudicate. It is beyond that. Kubanga kati weewuunye nti military court wenaabanga yeekwata omuntu ani agenda okufairinga, because police has always done that. Police files and then you see them coming back as witnesses. Now yes. What is going to be the role of police in a military court, in a military tribunal?
But this kirowozanga kiki.
No. Because
that's true.
Police yetwala fire. That's why ogenda okwesanga nga abantu ababadde mu military court n'olwaleero bamachete bakugamba nti tebalina file ziri sanctioned from kubanga waliwo traditional way of doing things.
Nti omupolisi bagenda muyita mu court wali soko obujulizi wadde ogenda omuarrestinga kino kyabaddewo. How was it? I know.
Today, that's why we are in the dilemma. Dr. Kano Kizabesije bamukwata naye tebagoberera mitendera. Tewaliwo alina kumuwaako obujulizi. Ebola anti batuuka mu kooti ne bagamba nti ate tuyambe otuwe essimu yo tusobole okufuna obujulizi. Naye nga there are traditional ways of doing things. If really tetugaana nti olwaleero Dr. Kizabesije bamukwata omuntu yenna alina asobola okukwatibwa naye engeri gyakwatibwa mu makubo matuufu. Era wonaamuteekaawo osobola okumuvunaana ogenda okumuvunaana omuntu oteekeddwa kusinziira ku bujulizi naye n'obujulizi bukulu ani abuleese ani abuwaayo. It is very important for us.
Okay. David Musiri, MP to be right here in Makidye West, but also the head of institutions at the National Unity Platform. David, aren't you now scared after everything you've gone through? Tell me, na yuko wanu bakwata mikwano jange waliwo bamwe abalina trauma even up to todola banga trauma zikyalimu mpola tebakyayagala bantu babibombola. Are you still coming back after buli kimu kyoyiseemu? Ogenda kuddamu esimbe ku ntebe eno okyaliwo?
Let me tell you, I have always told the people of our generation that there is nothing that will ever be given to us on a silver platter. We must fight for what belongs to us. And the word is fight. I am very deliberate. And with choice of words, we must fight. So what makes us be confident and be, for example, be flamboyant when we think that, for example, everything shall be given to us. Even the people that we are fighting today, the people that we challenge, the people that we oppose, at one time, in their times, they went to the bush.
They lost lives.
They lost lives. So we bansi baye mirundi ebiri nga ay. Man, I am here to stay. I am going to represent this constituency, Makidye West, come 2026.
So tewali chikutisa.
No matter what, tewali. The one thing that we fear, some of us, is only God. If you are not God and you are a human being,
yes, sir.
There is nothing you are telling us.
Kale abantu bannamakindye bakuwulidde waliwo amateeka amapya ge baleese mu masomero mbadde njagala tutandikire nga before we enter the second hour. Abaana tebakyabakkiriza kukola prom parties, no campaign posters, no tours for nursery schools, no foreign trips without accreditation or approval of the government. Byonna bagamba nti bagezaako okukomyawo sanity mu masomero. You are the head of institutions at the National Unity Platform. Bino birowoozaako ki? Are these good deliberations?
You see, most of the times, government praise double standards. You see, you cannot say you want to have sanity in institutions, but you only look at where people have their leisure. It's where you are attacking. For example, if you want to return sanity, you know education is a right, not so?
Yes, sir.
And I totally believe that this country has a lot of money. This country has treasures. This country has got minerals. This country has a lot of money. This country is rich. That's why the imperialists actually called it the Pearl of Africa, the banana country. We believe that from all our treasures and minerals, we can actually support students to study for free. It's not the first. It's not the first country to for example, you would go to university for free of charge. But what is happening in the reality? What is happening in the universities as we speak today? The guild president of Kyambogo University, called Akiso, he was suspended. No, beyond the suspensions, he was thrown into incarceration. He was taken to Ruzira maximum prison for only defending the rights of students, which is his mandate as a guild president. So whatever is in this institution is suffocation, crippling all the students, because there are a lot of draconian policies that don't actually support the existence of most of the poor people, poor students in schools. You know, for example, tuition increment. You know, for example, for Kyambogo alone, there was an increment of over 50% tuition increment. According to this economy, how do you even raise that? Instead, what government would have done for them to return sanity is to subsidize. For example, other countries have policies to subsidize.
Burkina Faso
to have a waiver.
Ibrahim Traore has brought a new policy in Burkina Faso that you don't pay for school, for education.
That
after university.
That's what I started with.
And
first
also,
of all, it is education is a right.
When you said our elders, our fathers did not pay directly for tuition. The Musevenis, I would say Mr. Museveni did not pay for tuition anywhere. Not even at Ntare, not even primary. Maybe university, I'm not sure, but that policy was there. That's what I'm trying to say.
So now you have to weigh between the promos. They are stopping, and the increment of tuition. You can look for the connection, and my brother, you can fail.
David Musiri, you want a kid to come in a helicopter at a prom party. A kid is coming with a Range Rover Sport. That is not African. That is not us. Where is the humility? Because this kid is studying with a kid who may not be privileged enough to have a Range Rover. But they are all in the same society. What are we telling? I think government yegezako gamba gana amalala tugakendeze.
For me, I have no challenge with, for example, allowing people to have promos or what we would have called picnic. Because during my time, we had our picnic in primary.
Yes, me too.
So you don't limit people. If you don't have a shirt to put on, if you don't have a couple or a girl to walk with, so it's not, I am not responsible for you not having maybe your tie, but what is important, do we all receive the same basics? Because whether you come on the promo with an helicopter, but as long as we are all given the same services, what matters, what results at the end of the day? Well, the results also, you know, when you are looking at the results, for example, the credentials, if you get the credentials, shall we be able to say that this one got maybe first class because they came with an helicopter? Do you have that look?
No, I can't so aka Uganda.
No. What are they bastardizing? What are they bastardizing? Is it indicated anywhere that we have norms that one should not actually come with an helicopter? Maybe they are privileged. And is they right? Here we have Ugandans who are not driving the same cars. There are those who have Benzes, you know, Mercedes, you know. There are those. So it doesn't matter. In Kenya here,
yes, sir.
In Kenya here, I don't know even what is happening, you know. We have to copy from other countries.
Okay.
There are students in Kenya who go to study every day using helicopters. It is okay. And I am telling you, because they go to school with helicopters, they are not the first in class. You'll find someone who comes on wiri wiri, on boda boda, becomes the first in class.
On foot.
own foot.
Okay, sir.
So there is no connection. I think what they are doing, I think the government is on panic. Maybe they think that one day in these promos, just like we had the City Carnival, that in these promos maybe it can somehow happen and these students can, because of this money, they can connect and somehow rise and overthrow government. That is their fear.
Thank you so much. Let's take a break now. I don't know why everything keeps being skewed into violence.
That's why they are telling you, they started on universities that we shall not have processions.
I remember.
Because Makerere University alone can have a procession, and their fear is that at one day this procession can end up
there
at
is
State
another
House.
procession, the one of Arsenal fans.
Yes.
How do you feel a procession?
They even started arresting
Let's
them.
take a
Just
short
because
commercial
Arsenal guys put on red, you know.
You are watching Digital TV. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with the second hour. I am with David Musiri. Thank you so much.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.